Welcome back to another review, this time for the anime Musume Cinderella Grey. This one had 13 episodes and was airing in spring of 2025. Synopsis from many links. Unbeknownst to those around her, in the destitute countryside of Kasamatsu, the staggering potential of this ashen-haired beast will soon rock Japan with her feet and catapult her to the national stage, down to the path of legend. Follow Oguri Cap and her insatiable appetite as the starting gates open to this Musume's hot-blooded Cinderella story. Now, my knowledge around Musume and horse racing is very limited, so this is more or less the first time I really get to interact with the, IP. Now, the first thing I want to say is that the developer of the game are seemingly behind or funding these animes. And in my research, limited research, or what I, got from osmosis, they seem to have like animes, movies, mangas around the IP, which I do appreciate, instead of just hoarding money or wealth, you reinvest this in furthering your IP, like making manga, anime, movies, collaborations, whatever you have. I do appreciate that because that gives us a chance as viewer to get potentially more good animes or more good art in general. So I do appreciate that a lot, and I was very surprised with the quality that is on display in this anime. I cannot tell you about the other ones because I did not watch them. However, this one is really well made. Animation is really good. You do feel it is very exciting. Anime has somehow cracked the code in making whatever they want exciting. And here they make horse racing really exciting. There are a lot of these. It has that shonen feel, sports feel, especially because these are races. So you have those down to the wire moments, the last like 100 or 200 meters where someone goes into a sprint and then the other one goes into a sprint and you are neck to neck, and it's getting really exciting. Especially you also have like, I would describe this in like the more or less the shonen moments where like a character gets down to the last few seconds and they get like this rush, and you have this similar to like Blue Lock like to use this like moment where the eyes shine and they have this specific color. They like to use this here as well, where you have like this menacing visual of one of the characters as they try to catch up to the front runner, and it is really getting really exciting. Now, I did try the game that released on Steam in like last week or so. Not really my kind of game. I'm not really a gacha gamer or generally mobile gamer. But from what I played a couple hours. Seemed pretty enjoyable. So I can definitely see why people like the franchise and the games associated with it. Another part that I only got through osmosis, so I cannot verify. However, it seems like the stories that get told are more or less as close as they can be to the original story of the horses. Oguri Cap supposedly is a real horse, or was a real horse, and they more or less try to make the story in the show as close to the real story as possible, which is really cool. I really enjoy that. Now, if you know the story behind the original, you more or less know how it's going to end and what is going to happen. However, naturally, the anime is going to give it that little bit of spice to make it extra interesting. But I really like, taking the real world and making it really interesting and trying to stick to it as much as you can. It is going to, you do have to be pretty good at making this interesting by sticking as close. I saw some examples here where, you can't really make it one-to-one because these are horse girls and not really horses that are on like a farm. However, they tried to make it as close as possible and pretty successful, I would say, from what I have heard at least, osmosis-wise. And other than that, our main character, Oguri Cap, she has a big appetite, not only for food but for races. She is pretty. You could call her simple or focused, whatever you prefer. She's very interested in racing and getting better at racing. Outside of that, she's not that interested. If it's not relevant to racing and getting faster and better at it, seems not very interested in it, which is, a very focused character. You do have a lot of other characters as well. I don't know how important all of these are, but you do have a lot of different characters. You also have, similar to like, shonen sports, here you start off in like a regional area, see our character getting better and better, and then her going to the higher stages and then getting real competition, getting to that next level, getting to those really exciting finishes. You have all of this here. It is a really, really well made sports anime, in essence. And I did really, really enjoy watching the season. Now, we do have to wait for Core 2. I do know there's a PV, but, I do like to go in not spoiled. So, AniList gave this one 84%. My Animalist is 8.47. I was like on the verge. It is really hard to, rate these things, especially because most of these types of animes, I really enjoy like the first season and then it starts tapering off. Now, I do know there are like different seasons in the universe, and seemingly in those are always different main characters, which would make it a lot more fresh than, having the same character always trying to fight the same treadmill. So I would say, if you like horse racing, definitely. I would say it's a pretty solid 9 out of 10. If you like horse racing, definitely watch it. If you like racing or sports anime,